Welcome to the E-Show with Neil Ravin. With over 1,000 NCAA commitments, the EHL is the proven path to college. Turn it up and learn more about the college placement leader at the Division II and III levels.
Welcome to the E-Show, presented by the Penalty Box Foundation. The Foundation's mission centers around their daily motto, we take care of our own, as they help out all of those within the hockey community who've experienced a catastrophic event. Learn more at penaltyboxfoundation.org. Once again, my name is Neil Ravin. This is episode number 29, and for the first time in the offseason, let's welcome back the E-Crow, Jeff Mills and Brittany Hart.
What's up, guys?
Yay.
I think what I had to do is we were all mutually depressed for the past 4 months or whatever it's been. I can't even tell you how long it's been. Mm-hmm. So I had to just take a break from the E-Crew. Because I think the last time we were on, we were preparing for the second round of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where we were at. And Jeff was in the lead of some sort in fantasy. I don't even know where the points were at, but
I was.
Like,
it was a beautiful thing. And then, thank you, Corona.
And it's just tough. It's we did all those team of the week features this off season. I think I've got through about 12 teams so far. I have like 5 or 6 left, and it's so interesting to hear each of the comments. Like, the teams that lost are almost happy that they lost. It's like Josh Fusco said, if we had won, I wouldn't have had closure, but because we lost, I at least knew the season was over. And it's
That's true.
That's true. That's weird.
It's like,
but it makes sense.
In only 1 year would you ever want to say to yourself, I'm glad I lost the last game of the year because I would have never figured out what would have happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a little crazy.
I don't think all three of us have ever heard coaches or athletes in sports say, oh, yeah, it was actually a good thing to lose. You know?
And he wasn't the only one. Bill Zanaboni was like, thank God we lost. I would have punched a hole in the wall.
Mm-hmm.
and Bill probably would have punched a hole in the wall.
Mm-hmm.
I went to one game at the Seahawks 2 seasons ago. Have you ever been to that rink, Jeff?
First of all, it's not the same rink that it was 2 years ago.
Well, maybe it was – I went to Tony Kent.
Okay, you went to Toby Keith's? Yeah. Okay, that's not where they played 2 years ago, but like that's okay.
That's called a rink, Jeff. Toby Keith.
Maybe it was.
Like the bar.
Maybe the first year. No, I think the first year was the only year it was at Hyannis Youth and Community Center.
So when you walk into the rink, like where you would call a game is like right above your head, like immediately, because you call it on the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's away from the locker room, and Bill like comes up in between periods, and I'm like, Bill, there's still like 18 minutes left to go, or 13 minutes left to go before the period starts. Yeah, I just walked in and punched a hole in the wall. I was like, what? I was like, he goes, I'm so mad at the way they're playing. I hit the locker. It was softer than I thought it was.
Little like, Xana beauty, baby.
I was like,
literally,
he goes, man. I was tapping it really, and then it just kind of collapsed. I was like, oh. He goes, yeah,
right.
I got to fix that.
Oh, Bill.
But Bill said he would have rather lost. Josh said he would have rather lost. Cody said he wished he had won the game against the Spartans and then lost because it would have been easier that way, I guess, for him. But, I mean, I guess the closure that I found, I'm not sure about you guys, is that we were going into the second round. And I remember the day was March 12th, and the Little Flyers had beat Maryland that, like, afternoon. So the next day, we were going to start the second round. So
the next day, I was supposed to be at the Den.
Yeah, I was supposed to call every single game up north because it was the Wizards versus the Rangers and the Avalanche versus the Lumberjacks. I was calling every game. But, like, if things had gone on for another week and then we had to cancel right ahead of the finals, I would have felt even worse.
Yeah, I agree. Or mid-finals. Like, imagine we start day 1 and then it was like,
oh my God, imagine, Jesus.
Well,
Stack it all up. Bye, guys.
As you would say, Jeff, the league that shall not be named had started their finals.
They did. And I
weren't you there?
I was for a couple of games, and it was a little weird. People were trying to dress up as scouts. We had adults trying to dress up as scouts, and Merrimack police removing people.
I think that's a great thing to bring up because, like, remember how this all started? It was like, okay, we're going to keep playing games, but only the teams can come in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and think about where we are now. Now we're trying to say the same exact thing for this upcoming fall.
Yeah, at that time, you're right. They were trying. They were like, a lot of teams that came from all over the place. As you know, that league is spread out like all over the country, not the way we are in the EHL with just the eastern area. So you got teams from Minnesota coming in, the Carolinas, Florida. So they were all there. So they said, hey, let's try it. And we got the morning games done. And then after that, they had a league meeting and they said, we can't. And all the professional sports were canceled. How can you continue to play when every other sport around you is canceled? So inevitably they had to cancel their entire playoffs too. Yeah, it was dicey. And everybody kind of knew it. Everyone's kind of looking around and talking to each other like, oh, we're here. All right, we'll try this. And, well, I don't know what's going on, but all right, we'll keep going. And then
that's honestly why I kind of felt bad for them. I know that we compete, but at the end of the day, like what everyone always says is like with hockey, it's just one big family. It doesn't matter where the teams are, what leagues are, all that. Like I talked to RC Lake this past weekend at the CCM showcase. RC, the coach of the Richmond Generals, he said that his foot was hitting the ground. Like he was stepping off the bus, arriving at the rink for the first time, and then the season gets canceled. Like, and it's like, oh my God, you travel from Richmond, Virginia to Merrimack, sorry, I think it's North Andover, Massachusetts. Like, oh my God.
Yeah,
and that's not even the farthest. Like the teams from across the Midwest or down in Florida. And that's like, there were guys that reached out to me from like different media outlets that were like, thank God you guys, called it before teams had to travel. The USPHL didn't, but it's like, what are you supposed to do if you're them? The guys are already there. Like you have to try and make it work.
Right.
And it all happened fast. It was all that NBA game on that whatever night was what started the whole thing.
Yeah, Rudy Gobert. He tested positive, and everyone was like, we can't have athletes testing positive for this. Is this serious?
And then, is it serious? He didn't take it serious. Remember that? Yeah. He started touching everything.
Yeah, well, here's my mic.
And then Donovan Mitchell got it, right? And then they were all pissed at each other. Then they recovered. And then, like, a couple weeks later, we're in just lockdown mode. And I'm like, okay.
So we figured things out. And then, we were talking, and how's everybody doing? And most of us were locked in our houses for a couple of weeks. It was like
weeks, longer than that,
and
months.
So
literally,
so Jeff. Well, we're gonna post a few screenshots from this. I mean, when did you shave last?
Wait, we're posting screenshots from this. Look at my hair right now. Like what?
So right now the bun is actually above the camera, so you can't.
Okay, right now I have, like, my bun on the top, like, as far as it can go. And then my hood is also on my head. It's a look. I'll tell you that for free.
If you were measuring your height for next year's roster, you'd probably add another inch or two because of how high up.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Oh, yeah, guy. Look at that.
Yeah.
I trimmed it up, Neil. As you guys saw, it was a lot worse.
Okay.
I trimmed all the sides, so I'm trying to style it into a little thicker new version for the season. But I don't know. We're trying things out. We're still in the beginning stretch here. So got quite the shelf going on, but
clean shaven was before all this.
No, well, you guys know I always have a beard, but I keep it very, very tapered and very trimmed. So it was that. It was I literally shaved. The last time I had like fully shaved was before my USPHL broadcast at the end of the season, and then so that was mid-March, and then I was like, I don't have to go on air. Or leave the house for a little bit, so we grew it out like most people did, and and then the girlfriend styled it up a little bit, so we're trying a little length on it, but getting some mixed feedback. Got a decent amount of people that like it, and then some other people, some family, some sisters are like, I don't know, you might want
honestly, I kind of vibe with it.
Thanks, Brett. All right, see, Neil, what do you think? We'll get the votes.
I think it's good.
All right, thanks, man.
Do you vibe with it too?
I do. I
mean,
like it.
No, I think Britt's asking him.
Oh, you're asking me.
I don't vibe.
I hate what's on my face.
Like
Neil, do you vibe with it?
I don't vibe with Jeff's beard. I just.
You just don't vibe with anything. It's just not in your vocabulary. It's all good.
No. But it's. What's funny is like, I have to admit when the whole thing first started, like, I didn't take it seriously. And I wasn't the only one, right? Like
Yeah.
I was like, this will be over in a month. Like we'll get to May, and there'll be kids that reach out and say like, oh, you guys should never have canceled. You just should have pushed through it. Because I still have those messages from when we canceled the season. I got 10 messages like right in a row. What do you guys think you're doing? Like we paid money for the playoffs, this and that. And then like as time has progressed, like we're getting closer and closer to next season. It's like,
right.
and it's
We are now closer to next season than we were when we canceled.
yeah. And
we all thought that, Neil. We all thought maybe we could even reschedule it for like a very late. Like we talked about that at one point. Remember we were saying like, oh, maybe we'll do it like April or May. Like it'll clear out, and then maybe like beginning of May we could just, I don't know, do like a makeshift Frozen final, something.
The only thing I thought of with that is that, say even one player doesn't come back, right? Name a top player on the Rangers or Avalanche or whoever advances, right? Say they
Connor Bazal.
Okay,
Billy Gerard.
yeah. Okay, good example. Because say he doesn't come back and then the Rangers lose. What's the first?
They
thing?
wouldn't though.
Oh God, Rich will be like, well, Biz wasn't here and Billy wasn't in that, so it doesn't count. Nope.
Oh, they have Baby Reba carry him to the championship.
True.
I think there needs to be an asterisk next to that one. It's like, oh my God, like.
Did you wait? Speaking of the word asterisk, did you see that thing of Biz trying to spell that word?
Oh,
because me trying to spell the word would be very similar to that. So we're not gonna do it.
Well, we have plenty of time, Brittany.
No, Neil, no.
What does it begin with?
Oh, trying to spell asterisk.
It begins with an A. That's good. What does it end with?
K.
Yeah.
An X. A Y?
That's not COVID. That's just me laughing and coughing at the same time.
Now we have to.
Attention, Neil has COVID.
No, stop it. I will say this though, Jeff. If you are planning to fly anytime soon,
we'll get there.
Got on Southwest. I got on Southwest and I was like, "This is an airplane. Like this is very clean right now." You know, still use 1,000 wipes just to make sure. But like, I was
Oh
like,
my God, Neil used legit a half a pack of wipes on one way there. I was like, "Yo,
this is
Neil,
yeah, this is after
two wipes,
It's
two
the time we're
wipes
in
will
right
be
now.
good.
This is
Two wipes
after
would be fine."
we go through security in Boston, and I had a hand sanitizer that was probably about
a
little bit bigger than this.
Did
it was
you
a good.
leave it
Yeah, I
at
had
the airport.
Yeah, it was a good 12 ounces. Like definitely over the limit.
Empty.
And they were like doing all these like liquid tests to it, and I'm like, it's hand sanitizer. Like I'll spray it on my hands right now and show you. Like it's sanitizer. Like I'm not doing anything else with it. It's sanitizer. Like,
Well, yeah, I'm sure everybody's traveling with it right now. Like,
Oh my God! It took so long.
But what was funny is,
and it was the crack of dawn, so I am pissed off. I had no coffee. I had to stand away for stupid Neil and his stupid hand sanitizer. I was like,
anyone that knows Brittany, mornings she doesn't do well, especially without coffee. She needs her coffee.
So I didn't even have coffee the entire trip in Colorado.
it was wild, Jeff.
Oh wow, Neil. So are you okay? You survived, Neil. Good job.
Yeah. So what was funny is they pulled my backpack out because it had that in it. But in the backpack, like you put them in those little containers to go through security. Well, Brittany's shoes also ended up in that single container.
So I'm standing in the airport with no shoes.
Meanwhile, I have TSA pre-check, so I got my shoes on, my belt's still on, my hat's still on. I'm like, all right, well, we'll just hang out here for 10 minutes while they do all these liquid tests on my sanitizer, which eventually
they're
like
ghetto with no shoes.
Eventually the guy was like,
awful.
Yeah, it's just hand sanitizer. You can have it back. I was like, thanks.
And I was like, all right, can I have my shoes now, buddy? Like, let's go.
Yeah, who's this Cretan woman you're traveling with here without the shoes? Who is this?
So Denver was fun though. I mean, what's different about the event this year than past years is typically it features a lot of premier talent. Obviously, with it being 2 months later, you have more players that are just don't have a home yet, but there's not as many teams that have to go. Like if we had gone in May, we probably would have had 15 teams go. But we go in July and Chris doesn't need guys, Rich doesn't need guys, go down the list. They have plenty of players already for this upcoming year. So what I liked about it though is I spoke in the seminars on Saturday night. So that was fun. You know, there's just so many questions when it comes to junior hockey, right? They have
it's actually insane how much these parents don't know.
Well, and what's funny about Colorado is if you don't want to play high school hockey, which the way high school hockey's changed, high school hockey, unless you're playing in Minnesota, it doesn't matter. No offense.
Okay, Massachusetts is pretty decent.
Yes, but but even
But it's not Minnesota. No, people aren't going.
Massachusetts.
I mean, some kids this year did go D1 out of Mass High School, Anthony, Missouri, to Northeastern. How are you?
Yeah, so it's just there's people that believe that Mass high school hockey's trending in a certain way, that away from the top programs. But that being said, all right, so you don't play high school hockey in Colorado. You want to go play midgets, it's the Rampage or the Thunderbirds, and that's it. So all these kids are like,
and
if I don't
spring tiger thingies.
Yeah, but if you don't make one of those teams,
right, you're kind of screwed.
Like, I'm getting the question: should my 16-year-old kid stay here and play for one of those teams, or play for his high school, or come out and play for the EHL and the EHLP? He'll have to miss his prom and other events with his friends.
Well, you're not the parent. That's a parent's choice to make. You as the commissioner, it's like you can always
personally, I don't really remember my high school proms. Not that I it just was a long time ago. Like, it was okay.
Yeah,
it's prom. Like,
when you're old or whatever.
You just have to prioritize. Is hockey more important, or is going?
I mean, I'm turning 30 next year, so my when I went to prom 13 years ago, I don't.
Oh my God, Neil!
Right.
Hashtag Neil is old.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm older than Neil, Britt.
Yeah. I didn't want
to. Oh, guys, I gotta go. I gotta go take my nap.
I was gonna give you a look there, Brittany. Like, hello, but like, I say to them, I'm like, well, it depends on the program, right? Like, if you feel comfortable about the EHLP team that's offering you a spot, like, go take it. Like, for some of our top EHLP programs, they move up 8 or 9 guys per year to the EHL the next year, and then after that. So yeah, it's 2 years of junior hockey, but sometimes you have to, take that step just to see what it's like. We talk about it all the time on this podcast, the kids that play Premier, and we're like, they really should be higher up by now. The Johnny Malandruccolos putting up 100 whatever points. Like, they should take that jump. But you'll watch this year, to Rich's credit, like a kid like that, because he spent the whole year there and got a small taste of the EHL, he'll be that much better rather than just rushing him through. So trying to like teach these parents the steps of the ladder was hard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like you said, every team, every organization, Rich has a certain, organization that he's built. He's got his own chemistry, and that's a good move. You don't want to bring a young guy like Johnny into a building that they were a very cohesive team. Everybody's very close. Not that they would, ostracize him if he came in, but like you said, you want to keep that glue together. That ship was, we don't want to.
It was sailing.
Depressing road, but it was sailing, man. It was sailing out to sea, and you just don't want to bring in new people. You'd rather them start out fresh and bring him in this season. And of course, he put up Wayne Gretzky like numbers in the P, but there was still plenty of competition and plenty of things for him to work on. Even when he's scoring, 6 or 7 goals in a game, I'm sure Rich and Keith were going back and saying, hey, good game, but hey, what about this edge work? What about this, hit you missed, this pass you missed? And they work on still look at the negative things on the tape. It's not always, strawberries and rainbows.
There was one question. It was, my son's 17, turning 18 next year. Why hasn't he been drafted in the USHL net yet?
Ma'am,
I'm gonna walk away from this conversation.
I don't want to talk about talent, but
like,
it might be.
And she's like, well, that being said, like, could he climb the ladder from your league up to the USHL?
When you're 18, no. Sorry.
But probably not. But at the same time, I think the best way I found to answer it, I was like, listen, if you're good enough, it doesn't matter where you are, they're going to find you. Like,
hey, good time to bring in Dominik Marcinkevich, former EHL. Just saw he got drafted by the Minnesota Wilderness in the NAHL.
Like him and the Twin.
If you are good enough,
they wouldn't go anywhere. Too. Yeah, they wouldn't. They're not going anywhere without each other. So once they took one of them, I was like, all right, well, if they didn't talk to them, then they're not going. But once they drafted both of them, I was like, okay, maybe.
Yeah, they remind me of the Sedin brothers. European style.
So, like, to Brittany's point, so, like, all right, the kid that's 18 may not climb the ladder to the USHL, but the kid that's 16 and Caden Primo, take away his name, right? But he was good enough, they found him, and he climbed the ladder. Blake Bride was good enough, they found him, and he climbed the ladder. Dominik Marcinkevich, not the biggest kid in the world.
No.
He's
but
just
he's
a
tiny.
little one.
But he was good enough, and he climbed the ladder.
What about Danila? Let's not forget about Danila.
Yeah.
He's
in
in the NA.
Springfield.
Oh, Larianos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he's playing for Springfield Junior Blues.
Yeah, so EHLP to EHL to NA. We'll see where he goes from there. That's going to be the most interesting thing to watch is all these kids from Europe and out of the U.S.
Oh, true. Like, are you even going to be able to get in this country? Like, so they just got drafted to Minnesota. It's not like Larionovs who already played here. They already know what he's all about. These kids went from the NCDC. Now they're going to go to the NA. And, you can't really get here.
Well, are they still in the States? Like, where Dominic's and they're from Czech Republic?
They're from Latvia.
I don't know.
That's
right. Okay. So maybe they're probably.
As far as I know, that they are back in Europe.
Yeah.
To my knowledge.
And they could come here. Us leaving this country and going elsewhere is very hard at this time.
Yeah.
Wait, they can come here, though?
It changes every day.
I think so. I think they can come in. We are getting banned from, like, any U.S. citizens. Most places are like the Bahamas just said you can't go there for the foreseeable future, but Europeans like some of the Bruins had David Pastrnak and David Krejci, some of those guys were over in Europe and had to come back and they were let in, but then you have to do the quarantining protocols and whatnot. So
which is wild with yesterday's announcement. Yesterday, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut all said if you are coming to our states from the following states, you have to quarantine before you come and quarantine when you get here.
Mm-hmm.
One of the states listed was Maryland. I'm like, I don't know if Team Maryland can begin the season in New Jersey and just hang out there for a while. I mean, but the only thing I could say is that it's July 21st, so hopefully things change. The most interesting thing to watch will be, I think it starts next week, the NHL.
Right? Well, teams have every team has one exhibition game, and then they start to play in the round robin rounds at the beginning, like the 1st and 2nd of August.
Okay. If that goes well, that helps us.
I was just gonna say
if that doesn't go well, I don't feel good.
Well, and think about it, like you said, go back to March, right? The pros canceled, and then that's what we were having the conversation at Merrimack. You're like, if every other pro sport is canceled right now, why is in junior hockey do we think we can play, but the NHL, the NBA, the NFL, none of them can play? Like, they set the bar because they're the professional sports, and then everything else, college, juniors. I mean, look at college hockey right now. Everything is still – a lot of these teams that came out and made announcements for the fall. Bentley and Northeastern, who I work for, their fall sports have been suspended, not canceled. So they've already made announcements.
That's the whole the different word: suspended, canceled, postponed. There's a different meaning for each one,
right? But you guys both know, Neil, Britt. Like when you're looking at all these statements, that's the first thing you read. You're like, okay, suspended, and then some people are like, canceled. Okay, so cross that off the list. Okay, we may play in the spring. Like, how are you going to balance that? Like a lot of college hockey. That kind of
a lot of them are not starting until January 1st now.
I think that's my takeaway is the January 1st date. I think almost everyone's going to get there, but what's tough about the world that we live in is we can't all just say together everything's done till January 1st. It's been one league or one team at a time, but it feels like college hockey is going to be everyone's going to get to January 1st, play a conference-only schedule from there, and then start over the next year. The one thing that the EHL has going for us are that we have no fans, so we could control the amount of people in the building.
That's not true, Neil. We do have fans. Jesus,
Jeff, there was a game last year at the Edge where I am calling the game, and have you met Jim the scorekeeper?
Jim, the scorekeeper.
He's like he's a World War II veteran, nicest guy in the world. Doesn't have internet at his house, has a flip phone, and he just goes to the rink every day to look at a few emails, and then if there's a game, he stays for a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
Jim loves to announce the starting lineup, but typical Freddie, who's not with the league anymore. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the coaching changes. Freddie always like wanted to get out immediately. If Freddie could play every game at 8 a.m. and then leave by 10, perfect. Like he can go do the rest of his stuff. So he would always have Jim like announce the starting lineups as the teams were like getting on the ice or as they're like about to get on the ice, like at a weird time. So he announces it one game, and I'm like, I am the only person here. Like the trainer hadn't ended up out of the locker rooms yet. There's nobody in that lower bowl at the edge.
He was announcing to you.
So I'm like,
as a play-by-play man, you're getting the exclusive PA announcement.
I'm like, woo! Here we go.
And that's what Merrimack was like, Neil. That was like I think that was like the very first time I like same thing where I was the only person in the building. And it's just like someone scores, it's like like the players obviously cheer on the boards and stuff. You're just like,
right?
No one.
You're like,
There's
hello.
nobody in here, not a single human. That's it.
The Red Sox played a game last night. They played an exhibition game last night.
They played against the Blue Jays. They lost 8-6.
What?
Yeah.
Neil, you're a little.
I got an alert on my phone. The game had ended, and I was like,
JD had a nice poke to right field, nice homer.
And that's what I was gonna say. I saw the home run.
Hit one.
I saw the home run, and I'm like, I've never seen Fenway Park for a baseball game completely empty.
It's creepy.
Oh, it was in Boston?
It
was in Boston.
It's the new, we'll put quotations around it, new normal for now. I think they're going to eventually have to let fans in too. If the NFL is going to do it, Gillette's already announced they're going to do 16,000 fans if allowed, state regulatory authorities and rules and stuff. And I think we'll be hopefully we'll eventually be able to allow our gracious fans back in the building.
Right.
So,
all the parents, all the mom squad. Mom squad.
Mom squad.
Dude, I get to see some of Mom Squad this week. I'm fired up.
Those Avs moms, they're always there. The ice den's
absolutely.
The ice den is always consistently, even when I filled in for you, Neil, for like the afternoon weekday games, there's still 20, 30 people in there.
You know why Chris thinks that they're always there, right?
The snack shack.
No. Chris believes that the parents come, especially the moms, because he's so handsome.
Oh,
you can't say
the Italian stallion.
Literally cannot say.
I can't wait to see everyone. This is gonna be weird though. Like when I see all you guys the first time, it's like, can we hug? Can we high five?
You gotta do this one, right?
Still doing this now. They say hugs are better than anything for some reason. They're saying that hugging is actually like the safest thing. I was like, really?
Chris gets in my car to ride to Connecticut for the meeting on Tuesday. And he just takes his shoes off, puts his feet on the dashboard. Driver.
I'll say he doesn't care. Yeah.
And then he proceeds to send me a photo of Neil. He sends me a photo of Vinny, and he sends me. Oh, look here's the photo. Look, there he is.
Can't make this up.
Here's Vinny.
Look at those tan legs.
And then, Neil, you just look like you just saw a deer jump into the middle of the street. I don't know what you're up to there.
It's a reflection of Chris's shiny tan Italian legs on his corner of his eye.
And then I literally just go, LOL. And he goes, what? You didn't think that was funny? I thought it was hilarious. And I was like, oh my God, shut up.
Can you do the Chris laugh?
No, I'm not rich.
Sorrell will be high-fiving everybody. It's fine. We're good.
Well,
family.
What's funny, Jeff, is so April we couldn't do anything. Since May, things have like opened up. A couple of things have closed back down, opened back up, whatever.
Right.
I'm in New Hampshire now, as you know. Like,
yep.
This state's motto is "Live free or die." Wow. Like
people doing that.
Like, I don't think there's people in this state that believe that the coronavirus is still a thing. I go to the grocery store. I see people in their like 60s, just shorts, t-shirt, flip-flops, no mask.
Yeah.
Isn't the whole point to wear a mask? If you go to Massachusetts, you have to wear a mask.
But surprisingly, yeah, you do. And surprisingly, then there's no numbers in New Hampshire. There's like no cases.
It's wild.
New Hampshire, Maine. I mean, all of New England's doing fantastic right now.
Mask. It was Rhode Island. Do you have to wear your mask everywhere?
Yeah, we do. But they've done really well. Gina Raimondo's
as you should. You should have to wear a mask. When I go to when Sorella sends me the good old market basket, you know that I'm wearing my mask.
Like we said, it's just you're just protecting other people more. That's just
this one.
Dude, when did you get that? Because you did not have that circa 24 hours
one of those
ago.
bad boys.
Have you?
Oh my! I almost murdered Neil over the concept of a face mask this weekend.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Do you want me to answer your question first, or you want to talk about how you almost murdered me on the podcast?
Well, I mean,
anyways, I was at the Chiefs rink for the scheduling meeting on Tuesday.
Newington.
Bob DeLessio is the equipment manager for the team, and I don't know if you met him yet, Jeff. You would love his stories because he spent time with the Providence Bruins, a couple of pro teams, like stories galore. He helped us out with the All-Star Week also. So he bought these like black masks for all the coaches because most likely you're gonna have to wear a mask on the bench this year.
Coaches will.
Yeah. And he just grabs one of the league patches that I'm passing out to all of our teams, put on their jerseys, goes downstairs, heat presses it onto here, comes back up, and gives it to me. I'm like,
that's awesome.
Thanks.
Can he make us a few more? I'll take one.
Now
I'll pay for it. I'll happy pay
to
for
Brittany's story. You have to wear a mask the entire time on the airplane. I had one of those N95s going because Vicky works Vicky works at the hospital, so she has access to those, right? And
those are serious.
My face is starting to hurt, and it's curling the ears back. And yes, I brought it up a few times, Brittany. I want to get one of those
plus 7 times.
I want to get one of those neck gaiters. That we
had to go to 3, as in 2 stores looking for these, and I was like, "All right, call before we go so that you don't waste your time." Nope, they have them. It says in stock. Get there, they didn't have them. I was like, "No shit," because you didn't call, like I said. But no one listens to me, so that's fine. That's fine. No one listens to me ever.
I'm trying to think. Neck gaiters?
It's like
those things like Barstool was selling them. The things. It's like I don't know.
Oh,
a piece of cloth that goes over your neck and
your
chest.
They go. Oh yeah, yes.
It's like a bandana.
Right. See, point 2. I said to Neil, no one calls it that. See, Jeff didn't know what it was.
Okay. What do you call it?
The Yankees are wearing
face covering.
What's his name? Clint Frazier was wearing one the other night. I saw
that's what they're called on the Barstool website. Face covering.
You're gonna see a lot of players wear those, I think.
Are those a little more breathable? Have you tried one? I haven't
tried it, but they look like it are.
They look a little more the N95s. I have one. My girlfriend's mother was just like Vicky in the medical industry. Those are a little suffocating.
I was like
nothing leaves. Yeah, those things are just you feel like Bane and Batman. Just
oh my god, I'm dying.
But it's the thinner clock.
Darth Vader, even better. Maybe.
Darth Vader, good call.
Darth Vader vibes.
Little Vader, a little Bane, little.
But you have to keep it on for the whole flight, and it just gets uncomfortable, right? Because you're on a plane for 4.5 hours. Mm-hmm. Now on the way back, there's nobody near you on the plane.
The flight there was low key painful.
It was 10 people.
Well, on the plane back, I legit think every single person on the flight had a whole row to themselves.
Wow.
There was nobody coming from Denver to Boston.
No, we trekked to the back. Us and the Seacoast squad. We're like, all right, to the back of the plane we go. Let's go, men.
And I didn't get the pilot's name, but we gained about 45 minutes on the way back, and I was like, yes, let's go.
Wow.
I don't know if we caught a little bit of a wind patch somewhere, but we were zooming.
Good job, unnamed pilot.
We were zooming. And then so we're zooming. Look at this artsy pic I took. Look how cute. That's Lake something in New York, up in Buffalo.
Is that Southwest Airlines? Is that a
Southwest
commercial
Airlines? Yep. No, I have to take an Uber back to my home, which is not close, but I mean, okay, it's not far. But
Bridgewater.
I'm standing out there. Keep in mind, it's humid as can be, and we just came from Colorado where there's no humidity. And I'm like, I walk out the airport. I'm like, okay, this is nasty. Get me back to that other state we were in. And it's lift shortage. And I'm like, oh, that's so good. Thank God. So I was waiting for I don't know, 20 minutes for them to even locate me a driver.
Oh.
Yeah, thanks.
Well,
tough times right now.
I'll tell you what, Brittany, if you move north of Boston, you're going to ride everywhere.
I don't want to live in New
Hampshire.
That
Issue
just
is we went to Logan and we were on
Who's driving if she moves north?
Vicky picked me up and dropped me off each way, but we're north of Boston. South of Boston.
Yeah, Bridgewater.
I just vote that we bring back a team who used to be in the league, whose rink is next to my house.
That has nothing to do with getting you to and from the airport.
Oh, I know that.
Yes, not the squad. They could pick me up. They wouldn't even have to go out of their way. They would just drive past my street. I just wave.
I'm sorry that your time was wasted Sunday night. Have you recovered with sleep or no?
I slept till 11 a.m. the past 2 days.
Awesome. So you slept till 9 a.m. Colorado time.
Right.
That was Brittany's number one thing the entire time we were there, Jeff. Just, oh, it's 5 p.m. No, it's 7. Well,
the time difference?
It's 7 at home. Meanwhile,
I do that too, Britt. It's weird. I don't know why.
Yeah, because they can't function.
Like, oh. Yeah, I think you're just like, it's like you're stuck in your own time zone. So you go to another one. You're like, oh, this is fun and different. Yay!
Right.
and as you know, Jeff, hockey guys never want to call it a night. They just keep going. Yeah.
Oh my God, Miss Queen over here cannot do that.
The first night, Brittany called it.
Britt's the youngest of all of us, but she's getting old.
No, I'll give her credit though. She called it about 11:15, so
that's not bad.
1:15 a.m. Right? It was about 3:30 Eastern time when I was like, I am toast. Like I am out. I'm done. But then they wanted to do it again the next night. I'm like, oh my God, can we go home already? We were there for 2 nights. It felt like a week and a half.
I bet. But sounds similar to some of our showcase nights we've had, going out.
Oh God, Newington Day 2.
Brittany flipping out. I'm getting a lift. I'm getting out of here.
That was the worst day of my life.
We won't disclose the details, Jeff, but never forget the Providence Day when I had a hot mic going and you were just telling stories.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
It do be like that sometimes.
But Justin's like, is your mic on? I just heard, oh, nice. That's wait, what? Oh, turn that off. Ooh.
So we went and hiked some state park on Sunday.
Jeff, did you see my Facebook pictures?
Wow.
I saw, I don't know if, I think because I saw something. I saw you said something about leaving Colorado.
See, look.
Like, you have to see it, though. Like we're out there, and I'm like, this is not real. Like, it doesn't.
I've never been to Colorado. That is a place I need to go. Especially
I would go back when it's non-COVID hours.
Yes.
Is it weird out there? I was going to ask you guys, too. That's beautiful.
Okay, all right. So if you try to drive through downtown Boston, good luck to you. I wish you the best. If you go drive through downtown Denver, it's like a stroll in the park. Like you can just casually drive down the street. If you're driving through downtown Boston, I can't do it. I literally cannot do it.
In 20 minutes, Jeff, I was like, I'm driving. Brittany has the directions. Mm-hmm. I put in Pepsi Center. Pull up, take a picture. I go put in Mile High Stadium.
Wait. Quick note about the Pepsi Center. I'm like, drive around the back. They're doing COVID testing at the Pepsi Center. So I was like, all right, let's
if you pass this point, you need a COVID test. Turn around.
Why are they doing the Avalanche aren't even going to be there? They're going to be up in
practicing there right now.
Oh, okay. They practice at the Pepsi Center? They don't have their own practice rink?
I don't know where the practice rink would even be, but they were there. Because we passed a few very nice cars that Brittany was convinced.
We whipped past a Lamborghini, and I was screaming. I was like, Nathan McKinnon! Like,
it probably wasn't him, but...
Okay, it was definitely somebody on that team. Nobody just whips a Lambo.
Or on the Rockies. So, but in the span of 20 minutes, we pulled up next to the Pepsi Center, and then pulled up next to the football field, and then Coors Field, and then drove back. You can't do that in Boston.
No. I mean, now you can a little bit. Traffic's a little better. It's starting to get worse as some more places are starting to bring people back to work. But
I will say this, we took 495 back from Connecticut yesterday at 4 or 5 o'clock. Normal, that's a hell of a drive. No matter what you do, you're stuck in traffic.
Yesterday was nothing.
It's funny because people have asked me all the time, how has this impacted your work? Well, we were 2 weeks away from the season ending. I work from home to begin with, so I kind of just flipped into off-season mode and nothing's changed. But it almost feels like office work is going to be a thing of the past because people have worked from home for so long that is office space really that necessary? Not for the EHL, but for all businesses. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, companies are absolutely. A lot of companies are actually announcing that. They're like, hey, we're only going to have people. It's the start of we're going to have people coming into the office only 2 days a week now and home for 3. But then the next step is, what do we need them in for 2 days? Like you just said, overhead. How much does it cost the electricity bill, the rent? Get rid of it. It's work from home. Yeah. And people might be more productive, being able to not have to drive and get stuck in traffic and have to get dressed and do all the different crazy stuff. You can just...
My mom just had to move all of her stuff out of the office. They're like, okay, everyone's moving their stuff out so we can deep clean this place.
Yeah, that's everywhere. Everywhere's been deep bombed. And
you had to make an appointment. Dunkin' Brands, they're not messing around.
my brother works for Capital One down in DC, and when this all happened, they like immediately started doing an update to the subway station that's next to his office, which there's only like one way to get there. So I don't know the whole thing, but he was like, unless you're driving yourself, which there's only like limited parking spaces for like the big wigs or whatever. He's like, you physically cannot get there. So he gets an email saying, don't plan on returning to the office until at least 2021.
Wow. Okay.
That's easy enough.
Sure. Sounds good to me.
He's like,
I think they don't want. I think most places are waiting for the vaccine, I guess, and then they're thinking that by January we may have it. Heard mixed opinions on that. Mixed.
don't ask
words.
Rich. Don't ask Rich.
Ask Rich.
Don't need to get political.
All right, let me cross it off my return to EHL list.
You
Don't talk to Rich about the vaccines.
You watch. It'll be here on the date November 3rd. I was like, okay, Rich, we're not going to talk about this right now. But
I have to answer Rich's text. Thanks.
Neil, not that you can give us too much insight, but how is scheduling going? Speaking of Rich, and what are you guys looking at for?
So far, we were supposed to have 5 showcases this upcoming year. The first 3 being in Mass. Mask has been labeled as hockey in Mask has been labeled as a high risk activity by the governor. Okay. That could change, but with him labeling it that, the Mass teams physically can only practice. If it was today, they can only practice, not play a game.
Okay.
So we met yesterday, and I'm just like, how am I gonna like structure this? So I had all the Mass teams on one side of the table and all the non-Mass teams on the other side. This is just teams from the Chiefs up, because and asked them, I'm gonna see all the teams south. And so I have them all lined up, and I'm like, when you're done, one side just rotate one seat down because you're working across from you, and then when you're finished with that, then you could book with your sides. Like, because it's tough, because I don't want a team in Mass to sit down and book all the teams at once, and then another team from Mass sits down and, everyone's already done with the team before. Because we have to give each team the ability to book some games in September and October. The tough part is they think this thing may spike again in November. So it's like, are we going to get to November, everyone's done 20 games, and then we don't come back till Martin Luther King weekend? It's so tough to say. But we took out the 3 Mass showcases immediately, and we're going to substitute those games with local games. Okay. So you'll keep them in your conference, and then all the EHL teams will play 3 games in Newington in December and 3 games in Exeter in January. And then we have like a bunch of open dates in February to add a showcase on the fly, if we can. Okay.
So yeah, September was supposed to be Walpole, and then October
was Worcester. September's Worcester, then Walpole in October, and Haverhill in November. The thing about it,
no birthday showcase. How sad.
Well, so everything's changed. How soon do you guys have to like definitely axe those?
Well,
because like you said, as things are moving on, like what if next month
it's not even so much about the virus at this point, because college coaches cannot do off-campus recruiting right now until August 31st. Typically, when the season ends, they set a date of like April 31st or whatever, and then it picks back up again. They've extended it a month every month of the summer as this thing hasn't gone away. So to think that in September we'll be able to pack the house with college scouts is unlikely. Yep. Same in October and November. A number of college coaches have said to me that, their inside sources have said to them, earliest is Thanksgiving, like at the absolute earliest, around that time. So what's the point of getting together for a showcase if they can't be there anyways?
Because that's what the showcase is about. Showcase, henceforward, showcase your talents to the scouts.
So have them play at home, save money on travel, and please just make sure your hockey TV broadcasts look good.
That's gonna be very important this year.
Hockey TV.
I
had a dream about hockey TV last night. It was a little concerning.
Ooh, that's never great when you're.
I was just dreaming about hockey TV. Like how good.
who dreams about an online streaming service?
No, but it was like a broadcast. Like I have the dream that I was just ripping up the ice stand per usual, nothing new there. And we put like the banner thing like at like center ice. And I was just interviewing like I don't remember who, like at the end of the game, and we like zoomed it in on the camera, even though the camera is on the wall. So I don't really know how that would work. But
why would I move an 8-foot banner that's 8 feet tall, 10 feet wide? Why would we put it right in the middle of the ice rink?
I don't know, Neil.
That sounds awesome.
Listen, dreams are not controlled, so I can't tell you. I have no answer for you.
This was something in Britt's subconscious.
I don't know. Sure.
Now we're getting into science. Too early for science.
It's way too early.
The big reason why I wanted to have you guys on here at this point of the summer is because hockey is supposed to come back with the NHL. You know, fingers crossed it goes well. Share a few laughs here because it feels like, to me, it almost feels like April, May, and June, I've been kind of just holding my breath like, oh, this thing's getting worse. This thing's getting worse. This thing's getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
But then we went on a plane, so.
But, and that's the thing, like, part of me feels better since that trip. Because
Sure.
I was really anxious going into it. I didn't tell Brittany.
I'll give you a better reading once Battle of Boston, i.e. Battle of Hartford, Connecticut now is over.
But I go on the plane and I'm like, you know what? Like, people are making the effort to keep things clean, try and keep things safe. Like, it just it made me feel a lot better because I hadn't gone outside of New England since this thing had started.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously,
I still haven't.
I was Sunday night. When did we fly out? I'm so lost.
We flew out Friday morning at the crack of dawn.
Like, Vicky was like, you need to calm down. Like, you're not going to sleep at all tonight. Like, you need to just relax. People are going to be wearing masks. You're going to have a mask on. Like, go out there. It's fresh air at the same time. Like, being back in a rink again and then seeing how we could all interact in a rink even under the new normal, as you said, like, I was like, we can do this. Like, we can do this. We can get through this. Like, I hadn't been in a rink since the whole thing had happened. So it was like, all right, I feel better now. If the NHL can pull this off, if we can start to schedule things, maybe this year is going to be tough to get through, and we may have to make a million scheduling changes on the fly, but we're going to get through it.
Yep.
We may finish in April or May, but we're going to get it done.
I'll say we're going to have a busier – usually we tail off like in the spring. Now our springs are just going to be like on steroids. All of us. It's just going to be like –
we're going to be buzzing.
The beginning of the season, we'll be like, all right, this is weird. September, October, November, December, kind of like, okay. And then January, it's going to be like, bam, friggin' off to the races. But we'll do our best. All hands on deck. We know plenty of people. We'll be able to navigate through it. And like you said, the biggest thing is like this week, baseball comes back. Next week, hockey comes back. Like there's real games this week. So like, how does that all, and all the, I feel the same way too, Neil. It's like you see all these teams now in the bubble in the NBA and the NHL, they're testing daily. They're all practicing again. NHL guys are hitting each other. You're seeing the videos on Instagram and stuff, and they're testing every day. I saw Brandon Carlo. The Bruins have been doing a lot of the spit tests, which I guess
that's what the whole NHL is.
You have to fill up the whole entire cup, and they're doing that every other day, I think it is. So, I mean, they're all –
we had to get our temperature taken in Denver when we went into the rink. They were like testing everyone's temperature when we went in. That was so
funny. Brittany's like, I better not start sprinting in because I'm going to get really hot, and then they're going to take my temperature and tell me I'm like 102. I was like, oh, my God.
I was literally kidding. I was joking. Everyone relax. Relax, John B.
That's a crazy thing. When you feel like hot as hell, you feel like your body temperature went up like 3 degrees, but in reality, you went up like maybe half a degree.
Literally, though.
Like for your body to temperature.
Like, Neil, unless I was putting my full-blown forehead onto the black Toyota Camry we have, I don't think it would have gone on.
I learned a lot about Brittany over the weekend, though, Jeff.
Like, that you haven't known already? You guys have been...
Like, if I get in the car to drive with her, like, I need to turn the car on immediately. Like,
oh my God, I hate the hot. I hate the heat. I hate the heat. I hate the heat. Like, the second I get in the car, I'm like, oh my God, put the windows down. I'm like, put the air on. Holy shit, I'm like sweating.
Sweat machine.
I hate
I'm the same way, Brett. I sweat.
I was just like, okay, I'm turning it on. And then like when we would stop to get somewhere, like opens the door, closes the door, she's at the door. I'm like, geez, like can you give me a second to get out of the car, get my bearings, put my phone in my pocket, then my wallet, then I'll meet you inside because you're sprinting inside.
All right, listen, I'm a fast-paced human being. I don't think this is new news.
No, it's not new.
You are.
It's not. But
you're a very fast-paced human being, Britt. So we've all worked with you for many years now.
Yeah.
Talk to her. Oh, gotta go. Bye. Oh, gotta go do this. Oh.
The past week has made me feel better, though. Going to Denver.
Good.
Getting half of the scheduling done. Going to Aston on Thursday. Get more of the scheduling done. And right now we're still scheduled to start September 18th at Providence.
Providence. We'll be there, buddy. Me and you. You.
Hello.
It may be.
Sorry.
Well, it may be the three of us, the officials, and the teams. And
well, don't worry,
Brett,
I will be loud enough for every fan. I'll take one for the team.
Yeah, you have to.
Control. Yeah.
Brittany, are you ringside? So we're doing like our whole like finals, our Frozen finals kind of broadcast style.
Yes.
Yeah. Excellent.
All right, cool. I'm ready. I already have my outfit. And you think that I'm joking.
Good.
No, you think that I'm kidding, but I literally
Is that carried over from March? So that's from like 4 months ago? You're just like,
I've been reusing some of my finals fits. Whoa. I was going to wear one in Denver, but now it's too big on me. I was a little rattled.
Oh, now that we're in the outfit segment too. Neil, you'll appreciate this. Well, actually, Brittany, you will too, being the fashionista you are. I went like suit shopping like a week before we were about to do the Frozen finals. And like liked a few different suits, and I was like, I was gonna probably try to get 3 or 4, rotate in some new ones with the ones I have now. And I was like, you know what? Some of them just didn't fit right. And I was like, I'll come back. I was rushing to another game, and then all this happened, and I didn't spend like $1,000+ on like suits. Wasn't that kind of like
So you're telling me you didn't buy $1,600 golf clubs in March and then not be able to use them till May? Is that just asking for a friend?
No.
You've literally gone golfing at least 3 times. Shut up. Like, well, I don't want to hear it.
I had the month of April. I feel even better about it, though. Those clubs were looking
at
me.
He was at 45 instead of 30 golf outings. You know, we could have got an extra 15 outings.
Dude, Neil and Cody go golfing every other second of the day.
I know. It's awesome.
Golfing
perks of being the director, you know?
A nice release of what's going on.
And you're doing business. People don't realize that. The golf course is this. I'm sure you guys are talking about the EHL. It's not just like,
My next round that I'm heading to soon includes a business meeting for 3 holes with Hockey TV. The rest of the time, we probably won't talk business, but we're going to talk business for a little bit.
Excellent.
Because we have some new things we want to work into our broadcast for this year just to make them that much better, because that may be the only way people can consume the games.
Yeah, we're going to be very important. Need a little extra pressure on us this year.
Oh, yeah. God. Come on, I'm calling the game now. That's for sure.
A lot more years are going to be listening this year.
You want to call a game this year?
I say this every year, and you're always like, all right, we'll make a bet, and then I never do. But I'm pretty sure I'm very capable of doing so.
We have to put Brittany on color for at least. I think Brittany would be very good at color because she knows all these guys, the personalities. You know most of their stories, where they've came from and stuff like that. That's all important stuff to tell people at home so they know.
Listen, we can't all be me. We can't. You know, it's a hard life I live. You know, we just can't all be me. We can't do it.
But I think that's
the game.
Perfect final transition into the last story that what we're all wearing today, right? You know, the virus has been hard enough, but we each have a Quinn Robel shirt on today. Like, I think that moment of what happened to him, a former player in the league that passed away from cancer, that was like a piece of like closure in a way for me, because it was like, all right, it's depressing, everything else that's going on, but seeing that happen to a former player who's no longer with us, and then he was tied in with Neutral Zone, who Brittany works for Neutral Zone as well, like, then it was like, okay, there's a lot more going on than just the virus and like not being able to play hockey games or be able to watch sports, like, and that's why I wanted to make sure the next time that we got on, we all showed our support for Quinn and his quest by wearing one of these shirts. So I'm going to make sure that when we do post this podcast to repost that link, because what was awesome about that whole thing is these shirts were created by JP Natishan, who played for Wilkes-Barre, and now goes to Kings. So, like, I don't think he ever played with Quinn, but what's so awesome about our league, and it's you want to see teams be rivals and compete against each other and at times hate each other. But at the end of every game, you may not see it this year, but at the end of every game, it's so cool to see the players give an extra tap to a guy that they know, right? And, like, with our league, and I'm sure it's with a lot of leagues, like, somehow everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
And you see it after every game. And JP knew Quinn, and a lot of people knew Quinn. And
I remember JP too.
What?
I remember JP Nutrition.
And this is how I wanted to end it on this, because, it just really pulled it all full circle for me, because I was like, all right, you know what? Like, when this thing ended, I was pretty crushed. I'm sure you guys were too, that we couldn't see things out. But then, like, to see other things that have taken place, and it's not just Quinn, right? Like, in the middle of the playoffs, it was Jerry Domish's son. And to see how his team then went and won a playoff series without him, it's like, how does that even, like, they lost game one of that series 6-1, and they won 2 games in a row and won that series.
We're a heavy underdog.
And then for everyone that we're not going to get political with it, if the virus is real, this or that. Like, there's been a few parents of players that have passed away from this virus. Like, and it's just made everything, like I said before, a little bit closer in a way, but, like, there's so much more that takes place away from the rink and off the ice that I've been able to, like, all right, yeah, it's a depressing time right now, but at least I can wake up and enjoy a conversation with you guys, or go to Colorado this weekend, or golf 35 times, Brittany. Like, there's a lot more going on. Like, I can handle what's taking place, and we will get through this, but I have to also feel lucky that, knock on wood, it hasn't impacted me the way that it's impacted a lot of other families. So I wanted to make sure we all got this. What was funny, Jeff, is I think I sent you the link as soon as JP came out with them, and Brittany already had a sweatshirt ordered. I'm like,
of course.
I should have known she would, because she has about 65 sweatshirts, and it's like
all I wear.
It's like her favorite piece of clothing. But if I can
Brittany
wear
loves sweatshirts, but she loves to sweat, so it's like,
if I can wear
these sweatshirts, Britt.
I have the amount of sweatshirts I have bought over quarantine is at least 7.
Yeah,
minimum.
It's fine.
Right.
But if I could wear this under dress clothes to a showcase this year, I'm going to, like, because
same
he was in our league, and to just hear more about his story, and to know that he had beat cancer once, but then it came back. It's just tough. And if we can start on September 18th, I have to figure out how I want to write it, but we will definitely be doing a moment of silence to remember Quinn, to remember Jeremy Domis, and to remember everyone that's been affected by this virus, without a doubt.
Oh, just give me the chills. That's
sorry about that.
Thank you. It's like you said, you have to appreciate the small things in life, that you can just wake up and put your feet on the ground, because some other people can't. And it's sad. It was kids like Quinn and Jerry's son. And no, you put the nail right in the head, Neil. It's true. You have to, it is. Me and my girlfriend have talked about that too. Like, how weird this virus has kind of, like, brought people closer together. Like you said, more people are working from home, and, like, seeing your significant others more, because your schedules aren't as crazy. And we didn't get to see a lot of our families for a while when we were in the heavy quarantining. You couldn't have groups larger than 10. And then you finally get to see them after months. You're like, whoa, when was the last time I haven't seen your mom and dad, or, like, people like that.
Wild, right?
Did you finally get to meet your niece?
Yes, I finally got to meet my niece and nephew. Yep. They're almost 4 months old now.
and it
crazy
just
is that they've been through the whole thing.
It just makes you appreciate those moments more. Like,
it does,
without a doubt. If you want to call me soft, I don't care. When I get to Providence next with this league, whenever that is, for the finals, I will probably break down.
There'll be some tears.
Just because we've made it back. But it makes you. It's just going to make me appreciate things that much more. So that's how I wanted to end it. So I can include a screenshot. Why don't you each hold?
No,
this?
I literally look like I got hit by a bus.
Cover your face.
Okay.
So I'll include a screenshot of this.
No.
For sure. So we'll dedicate that episode to Quinn for sure. And then, like I said, Jeremy Domish and every other family that's been impacted by this. And we'll get you guys back on here soon. probably after we release the full schedule. I'll give it a week or so to make sure that there's going to be some changes right away, I'm sure.
Yeah, we could talk matchups. We could start getting back to the brass tacks, and we can restart fantasy for a full season.
And here's what I wanted to propose. I want to carry over the point totals from
No, absolutely not.
Sounds good, done. Woo!
No, but that's BS.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that offline.
So dumb.
We'll talk about it offline.
So the E-Crew text message we
talk
go.
about it offline. That's the end of it. No, it restarts. What's with this bullshit carrying over? Absolutely not. It's a new season. Start fresh. New year, new points. New year, new me. New year, new. That's it. Just new. Nope.
Rattled.
And at that point, the Queen has shut the idea down. No.
Wait, so Britt, are you saying that last year's points are not good for the brand?
Correct. Oh, they're horrible for the brand. I haven't said that in a minute.
Woo! I know. I have like all your catchphrases ingrained in my brain.
Oh, there's plenty of new ones. Just wait.
We'll save those.
We'll save those for the future podcast. We're going to lose all these fans. You know?
Exactly.
On a lot of different platforms this year. We'll get to that part too. You know?
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, guys.
Thanks, Neil. Thanks, Britt.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to The E-Show. Learn more at easternhockeyleague.org and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Also, be sure to subscribe and get notified when next week's podcast is released.